Hey everybody, welcome to Behind the Screen. How are you all doing today? Okay, so behind the screen, we're looking at our world map. We're live now, right? Yeah, we're totally live. We're totally live. Behind the screen. So our party, for those of you that are new to Behind the Screen, let's just give a quick recap of what it's all about. I have a lot of D&D campaigns. We have roleplay, we have misclicks, we have one-shots, and then we have my Monday night group with my friends in real life that is not streamed. And every other week we play, and so every other week before we play, I plan out that week's adventure with you guys. And, we'll plan it out. Usually we do a story arc covering, 3 or 4 sessions, maybe more. And so we'll kind of like we just finished one. We just finished a short two-session campaign. Now we're going to launch into a new one. So today we're going to get the big picture for what we want to do for this campaign, and then we're also going to focus in on one or two, just enough to get today's campaign done. So big picture followed by a little bit of focus. Now, what I've been wanting to do is something related to lycanthropes. So because earlier we did some vampires, it'd be cool to throw in some werewolves or were-tigers or were-bears or were-something. So let's look up lycanthropes in the monstrous manual. All right, lycanthrope. So in terms of lycanthropes, we have the sea wolf, we have werebat, werebear, wereboar, werefox, foxwoman, wererat, wereraven, weretiger, werewolf. And then we also have wolf wearers, which are very, very different creatures. But for now, those are the different types of lycanthropes that we have here. I have a bunch of other monster books as well that will go into like werepanther and weretiger and were blah 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 blahs. Well, I think let's stick with a classic. Oh, there's even more tiger in here. I think we're gonna go either with werewolf or werebear. Werewolf is pretty freaking classic. Werebear gives more experience though. Werebear has more hit dice, has a better chance to hit, has more armor, appears in fewer numbers, has 3 attacks per round, plus a hug attack. It's also size large, which means it's going to end up taking more damage. Well, let's read about the habit society of these different creatures and then decide from there whether we're going to do a werebear or weretiger. I'm sorry, werebear or werewolf campaign. So, werebears are normally solitary creatures. As humans, they build cabins far from settled areas, preferably in a deep forest near well-stocked waters. Werebears do not marry, although they have preferred mates. They meet on very irregular basis. Females bear 1 to 2 children in human form. Such children are very stout and grow quickly. Within 8 years, they gain adolescence and the ability to change into werebears. Shortly after, the mother drives the children out and seeks to mate and start a new cycle. The newly independent young are discreetly guided and assisted by older werebears. Despite their apparent isolationism and rugged individualism, werebears have a sense of community. They never attack each other and aid any werebear threatened by any other lycanthrope species. Werebears are chaotic good. Oh, we can't use werebears. They're chaotic good. Fuck that shit. Werewolf. Yeah, chaotic evil. All right. Chaotic good. Pfft. Unless we wanted to go were-rat, but I don't think so. We're going to do... Okay, we're sticking to werewolf. Yeah. So, habit society. Werewolf packs roam the wilderness in search of human or other prey. True werewolves tend to be nomadic, although infected werewolves often continue to live their life for which they were accustomed. By the way, there are 2 types of lycanthropes. You have people who were actually born as that lycanthrope, or people who have been cursed with lycanthropy. Lycanthropy? So you have like true werewolves, and then you have like the cursed werewolves, like people who have been bitten by werewolves, blah, blah, blah. Continuing. Werewolves retreat to their dens during winter months. Oh, you guys can't see my face at all while I'm reading. Let's switch this up. That didn't work. Oh, because it's control. There we go. I'm bleeding over here as well. Bleeding all over the place. Where were we? Werewolves retreat to their dens during winter months of the years when females are raising the helpless cubs. As humans, werewolves do not build homes, although they may take over existing dwellings, sometimes the home of past victims. Caves and burrows are the dens most commonly used in the wild. These sparsely furnished retreats are mostly used as sleeping areas, places to store their human possessions. Many werewolf families roam the countryside in wagons, much like gypsies. In fact, this has caused many gypsies to be accused of being werewolves. Werewolves live in packs, generally related to bloodlines. Werewolf packs of 5 to 8 individuals are single family groups consisting of a male, female, and 3 to 6 cubs, 6 to 9 years old. Cubs under 6 years old are kept in secluded dens and never encountered by hostile humans. When pregnant, females retreat with her mate and an older female who will act as midwife. In a very secluded area, they prepare a special den where will be the home for the mother and her cubs for the next 6 years. The female gives birth to a litter of 5 to 10 cubs. These cubs are born in hybrid form. They resemble fuzzy human babies with soft wolf-like faces. Infant mortality is high. 2 to 4 cubs of each litter never reach 60% growth. Cubs grow at the same rate as humans for the first 5 years. By the 6th year, they attain 60% of their full growth. At this point, they develop the ability to transform into other forms. Each following year brings an increase in additional 10% growth. Werewolves are considered to mature at age 10. If a werewolf mates with a woman, the offspring is completely human. The temperament reflects the father. Such children are violent, combative, and prone to mental illness. There is a 10% chance each year that the onset of adolescence that such a child will spontaneously transform into a true werewolf. Werewolves are a peculiar hybrid of human and lycanthrope personalities. They are savage killers, yet devoted to their close-knit families. Werewolves are hostile beyond lycanthropes, or towards lycanthropes who oppose them, especially werebears. Okay. I feel like we need to read the lycanthrope general section again, which is way too big for me to read on stream. Okay. Lycanthropes are humans who can transform themselves to resemble animals or monsters. The term lycanthrope is actually a misnomer coming from the roots lycos, wolf, and anthropes, man. The more correct term is theranthrope, from theros, animal, and anthropes. However, since werewolves are the most common in theranthrope, the term blah 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 blah. To further confuse the issue, blah 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 blah. Subtypes. The condition of being a lycanthrope, often referred to as a curse, is lycanthropy. The distinction must be made between true lycanthropes and infected lycanthropes. True lycanthropes are those to whom lycanthropy is a genetic trait. They breed with other lycanthropes and produce baby lycanthropes. Only true lycanthropes can infect others with lycanthropy. Infected lycanthropes are those who lycanthropy results from being wounded by a true lycanthrope. There are also creatures known by some as induced lycanthropes, whose shape change are affected by magical items. These creatures cannot inflict others with lycanthropy, though the magical items can be transformed into new owners. Some of the items are cursed, and once worn, they cannot be removed without the application of a remove curse spell. And interesting. Induced lycanthropy includes swan maze and anyone who using a cloak of the manta ray. Finally, there are cursed lycanthropes, created by a certain spell, curse of lycanthropy. True lycanthropes and induced lycanthropes seldom hate their curse. Which one is induced again? Okay. So induced is by magic item or whatever. True lycanthropes and induced lycanthropes seldom hate their curse. They see themselves as being like any other creature with the same right to survival. Those bitten and infected, or those affected by the curse of lycanthropy spell, are generally unhappy with their fate. These unfortunates seek cures and occasionally try to hunt down the lycanthropes who infected them, or the wizard who cursed them. Okay, so we've got a genetic lycanthrope, we've got bitten by a genetic lycanthrope, we have cursed by a magical item, and then we have cursed by a spell, which is basically the same as magic item, except not really. So I mean, so it's voluntary curse, enemy curse, bitten by one, or born that way. So 4 different methods of contracting lycanthropy. That's fine. Most lycanthropes have 3 forms. Some have only 2. See the individual description for more details. The first form is always the natural humanoid form, which over time becomes more and more reminiscent of the lycanthrope's animal form. The second form is a hybrid containing both animal and humanoid features. The size of this hybrid tends to lie between the humanoid size and the creature replicated. The third form of the lycanthrope is externally identical to that of a normal creature of the replicated species. The only visual clue is that the eyes may glow in the dark. A slain lycanthrope always reverts to its natural humanoid form within 1 round of being killed. Okay, so you can either be, if you're a werewolf, you can be a wolf, you can be a person, or you can be a wolf-person hybrid, which is what we would normally see werewolves as, where they're like wolf-like, but standing on 2 legs and eating people. Sweet. Contracting lycanthropy. Although the forms of attack vary with each species, all true lycanthropes can transmit their dreadful affliction. Any humanoid creature injured by a lycanthrope, but not actually killed and presumably eaten, has a chance to contract lycanthropy. The chance equals 1% per point of damage caused by the lycanthrope. Some lycanthropes transmit their affliction only through a bite, others through any natural attack, and some even through weapons they use. For ease of bookkeeping, if a character suffers 24 points of damage from all attacks from a true lycanthrope, the character has a 24% chance to becoming infected by it. Okay. Right. If the character eats belladonna with an hour of attack, there's a 25% chance this will cure the affliction. It definitely incapacitates the character to 1 to 4 days. Note that only a sprig of belladonna need be eaten, and it must be reasonably fresh. If too much is eaten, the character may still be cured, but incapacitated for 2d4 days. The only way to lift the affliction is to cast Remove Curse on the character on the night of a full moon, or the night immediately preceding or following a full moon. After Remove Curse is cast, the character must make successful saving throw versus polymorph if the curse is broken. Otherwise, the change takes place and the spell has no effect. Cure Disease and other healing spells and abilities have no effect against it. Only infected lycanthropes can be cured. To a true lycanthrope, lycanthropy is natural as breathing, and the condition cannot be altered. True lycanthropes have complete control over their physical states and are not affected by darkness, phases of the moon, or any other situation which traditionally affects infected lycanthropes. Okay, so if you're a genetic lycanthrope, you won't be fucked over by the moon. You can choose when to change. Cool. In human form, the lycanthrope uses weapons to attack, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the rest of the stuff we don't really need to read about. Vulnerability. True lycanthropes share vulnerability to silver weapons, possibly because the metal's mystic relationship with the moon, or the inherent qualities or powers of the metal itself. Extremely rare variants might have no such vulnerability, but instead develop weakness for another precious metal, gold and copper being the most likely, or perhaps for bronze, obsidian, or even wood. Okay. Oh my. Okay, good. So, in lycanthrope form, the monster can only be struck by silver or magical weapons. Wounds from any other weapon heal too quickly to cause actual damage. Damage from spells, acid, fire, and other special effects apply normally. Because of their vulnerability to silver, some lycanthropes have a psychological aversion to the metal and refuse to handle it. In some cases, the psychosomatic effect is so great that touching silver actually burns the lycanthrope. Okay. True lycanthropes can shape change at will, regardless of time of day or phase of moon. Infected lycanthropes are usually humanoid during the day when darkness falls on the night of a full moon, or the night immediately preceding or immediately following a full moon. The lycanthrope unwillingly changes into the shape and overcome by the bloodlust. During this time, the infected PC is beyond the player's control. The DM takes over the character. The character's strength temporarily increases to 19. Armor class, number of attacks, movement rate, and immunities become identical to that type of lycanthrope, as in blah, 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 blah. A transformed character only wants to hunt and kill, and usually selects personal friends or enemies as victims. The were creature makes no distinction between friends and enemies. All that matters is strength and motion binding them. When the character returns to normal form, 10 to 60% of any wounds suffered while in animal form heal instantly. The character also has hazy, haunting memories of performing terrible acts. Each type of lycanthrope has its own language, as well as its own humanoid language. Some may be able to speak the language used by animals they imitate. True lycanthropes tend to avoid human society unless attacking or on an errand. Lycanthropes travel alone or in packs. The packs are usually similar lycanthropes, but may include normal animals or monsters lycanthrope resembles. Some lycanthropes have the ability to summon such creatures. Lycanthropes have a variety of roles depending on the type of creature they become. Scavengers, blah 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 blah. Blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So now we have all of our history that we need on lycanthropes. So, man, I really cut myself today, didn't I? Whatever. I don't care. Should not be doing that on stream. So here we go. Fort Redbeard is where the party currently is. I don't know when the emoticons are coming. I sent Twitch an email about it yesterday. Fort Redbeard is where the party currently is. Aside from their quick trip to Splash Mountain, which is intentionally there, it's a joke. It's a fun place. The party is supposed to be... One of the party members is engaged to General Redbeard's daughter, and the wedding is coming up, slowly but surely. And he's getting cold feet. He's not ready to settle down. So I could throw him a bone and have her be transformed, cursed into like a werewolf thing. Or I could have like a party member be attacked and possibly transformed, or there could just be like a marauding pack of lycanthropes. What do you guys think? Wedding gets cracked. No. We can't fast forward to the wedding right now. I'm not willing to jump into the wedding, although that would be fun. What do you guys think? How should we introduce the lycanthropes? Hold on, let's take a step back. What is the main objective that we want them to complete? Do we want them to have to hunt down and kill the lycanthropes? Or do we want them to have to cure someone they know of lycanthropy? Maybe both. I mean, clearly if someone gets infected, then they'll have to deal with that. But do we want the story to be, oh my god, there's this person we know, we need to cure them? Or do we want the story to be, oh my god, there's this pack of marauding werewolves that we need to go hunt down and kill? I think... She can't be a natural werewolf because then her father, General Redbeard, would have been a natural werewolf. Which could actually... No, I don't think I want to do that. Cure a member who's bitten. The only problem with curing a member who's bitten is then I would have to DM hack it in a way that someone gets turned into a werewolf. Maybe his fiance could get bitten. Maybe, okay, so we could do his fiance was on her way to somewhere, blah, 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 while the party was out doing blah, 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 blah. And her band got attacked by werewolves. She was bitten. The general says, oh my god, your fiance has been bitten. What the fuck are you going to do? He is now supposed to go hunt down and kill the werewolves. And additionally, find a cure for the werewolf, for the lycanthropy. I think that's the story we're going to go with. How do you guys feel about that? General Redbeard never had a daughter. He found her, but she's a werewolf. No. I was thinking about that same thing, Awnings. Cursed necklace as a wedding gift from erroneous/evil, or not erroneous, and envious/evil relatives. That was another thing I was thinking about doing. That would be kind of fun, where... But see, if then she just gets a cursed necklace and there actually aren't any werewolves for them to fight, and I want them to end up fighting werewolves. So I don't think we want to do that. So I want there to actually be werewolves for them to fight. So that means there needs to be werewolves nearby, which means it would just be strange if there were werewolves nearby and she got cursed by an item. That's just too much coincidence for my liking. So I'm going to say she was on her way to visit you know, her cousin or her sister or some relative somewhere or something. Maybe over here, like maybe she went down to Brigdean to visit someone, and then the werewolves came out of the forest. Where do werewolves live, by the way? Let's take a look in the book. Lmnopqrs. Lycanthrope. Throp. I don't know. One of the two. They climate terrain any awesome, cool. So the lycanthropes in this storyline are going to be hanging out in the Elder Grove. The werewolves. Why do I keep saying lycanthropes? The werewolves are going to be living in the Elder Grove. Um, what are you guys saying in chat? Werewolves lived in Elder Grove peacefully lately, but something in the forest forced them out, which conflicts the surrounding countryside. Something has gotten bitten, fiance. Party needs to find the cure, blah, blah, blah. No, I want the werewolves not to be, I don't want it to be something like, oh, they're actually okay people. I want them to be, like, legitimately evil creatures that are, like, marauding. I think, it's just, there's so many games where I've played where, you know, you wind up, oh, here's the bad guys, let's go hunt down the bad guys. And then when you get to the bad guys, like, oh, wait, the bad guys are actually good guys. And, you know, they're just pushing this bad situation. Like, that's, once upon a time, that was a cool new theme, but that theme I feel is really overplayed lately. And I'm willing to do that sort of stuff, but only occasionally. I want, like, 80 to 90% of things to be where, like, oh, he's the bad guy? Okay, he's actually the bad guy. And then like a very small percentage of the time, like, you know, the remaining 10%, where it's actually the inverse. Because otherwise you keep running into, oh, well, maybe they're not actually bad. Okay, well, maybe we should respect. No, you should have bad guys, and when it's actually not their fault, it should be like a surprise and a shock. So I think we're gonna just have like werewolves still be like evil werewolves. I think that's how we're gonna do it. Why wouldn't a cleric just cure her? Well, remove curse is what level spell? Let's look this up. Spells, priests. Remove curse. 3rd level spell. Oh! They have a 5th level priest in their party. Does he have remove curse? Where did he go? Eduardo. Okay, he doesn't have remove curse. So, yeah. So here's the okay. So if she gets, you know, cursed with lycanthropy, it could be the sort of thing where she turns into a werewolf. The people around here aren't necessarily educated. They don't necessarily know how to deal with the disease. You know, we know how to deal with the disease because we read the book. But most people, they hear werewolf and like, oh my god, werewolf, what are we going to do? So General Redbeard will be like, your fiance, my daughter, has been turned into a werewolf. I don't want anyone to know because, you know, that's embarrassing. It would be, you know, people don't like to tell. People are superstitious in this day and age, right? And if the general was like, oh yeah, my daughter got turned into a werewolf, people would never trust him ever again, even if the curse got lifted, because people are ignorant and they're judgmental and they pitchfork, and basically everyone in medieval times is like your 13-year-old Redditor. They hear something and then they stick to it, and even when presented with overwhelming evidence to the contrary, they're still stupid and they still stick to these things because all these, like, the entire world is uneducated. No one knows how to read except for the ruling class. So, you know, daughter gets bitten by a werewolf. He wants to keep that shit secret. Tells the party, hey, you gotta fix this. You know? And you have to go fucking hunt down those werewolves and kill them. He doesn't know how to fix it. The party doesn't know how to fix it. So the party will probably hunt down the werewolves, and in the meantime try and figure out how to cure it. Eventually they'll figure out all you need is a remove curse spell, and then they'll have to find a priest who will do it, like, while remaining anonymous. And then the priest might be like, well, I'm not just going to cast this remove curse spell for nothing. I need some task from you. Or maybe the priest's task will be, hey, I can do this, but you need to solve the root problem here, which is the marauding lycanthropes. You know, I'm not going to go around curing every person that's been bitten. You need to solve the problem at its core. Yes, keeping secrets just feeds into the pitchforking. I agree. The world is imperfect. Things happen that don't make sense and it's dumb. But if you have a perfectly logical game world, it gets really boring really fast because then everything makes sense and then the world doesn't make sense. The world is confusing and fucked up and things are the way they are even though they shouldn't be. So, or yeah, perhaps a reagent from the lycanthropes. Maybe he requires some, lycanthrope blood, werewolf blood, something like that. Yeah. Now the other option. Okay, so we've got the general plan. Werewolves live in Elder Grove. General Redbeard's daughter, whose name I've totally forgotten. I think I called her Bertha or Daphne or something. Whatever. She gets bitten. Now, I think the way that they're going to tell it is that they got attacked by like a pack of wolves on the way home. They fought off the wolves, but the daughter was bitten. And so the players come to her bedside or something, or, he is hanging out with her when on the full moon she transforms into a werewolf and attacks him. And then he'll have to fight her off or something. We'll role play that out. We'll figure like, oh my god, she's transformed into a werewolf. Do I run? Do I try and save her? Or do I just try and fucking kill her? And if he just fucking kills her, as we read in the book, within a round, she transforms into her human body form, and then the father will come over and be like, oh my god, you just ran my daughter through, and he'll be like, oh my god, she was a werewolf. And that can be its own fun thing right there. So that's how we'll get into it. I don't want to plan too detailed because, well, clearly, if he kills her when she transforms, that changes the course of the entire storyline. If he doesn't kill her, so, depending on how we deal with that situation, there's a lot of paths that we could go in. So I think for now, we're going to do something like this. We're going to do General Redbeard's daughter, GRD, was bitten by werewolves. Werewolves, that's the right spelling, I believe. Yeah, that's the right spelling. Excellent. Werewolves on her way home from Bremer. How do you spell Bremer? Where the hell? Brigdean, not Bremer. Brigdean. She and her guards were attacked by a pack of wolves, which were eventually fought off. 2 guards died. She was bitten. Where is Age of Might? She was bitten. Done. So, Mike, who is her fiance, visits her on the night before a full moon, and she transforms into a werewolf and tries to kill him. Done. Okay. Werewolves live in the Elder Grove. Is that what we called it? Elder Grove. Elder Grove. In a pack of now. Let's. Okay, so the party is 4th and 5th level. Oh shit! We need to roll experience for their previous thing, so we know actually what level they're. Someone might have leveled up. They need magical weapons or silver weapons to be hit. The party has magical weapons, so they can hurt the werewolves. Although they might, yeah. They might not use their magical weapons at first. They might use something else, which is fine. Let's read a little bit more. Werewolves are the most feared of the lycanthropes, men who can transform into wolf-like beasts. They should not be confused with wolf-wearers, wolves who turn into men. Great enmity exists between werewolves and wolf-wearers. The human form of werewolves have no distinguishing traits. The werewolf form is equally varied. Many have bipedal form that is human hybrid of lupin features. These creatures are about 1 foot tall and stronger than the human forms. Their bodies are fur-covered with short tails, wolf-like legs, and heads that are combinations in varying degrees of human and lupine features. Lupine features, I should say. The second form of the hybrid is more wolf-like and may be mistaken for a large wolf when it runs on all 4 legs. This hybrid can also walk erect and has human hands. Another type of werewolf, about 20%, looks exactly like a large wolf, about the size of a bear. This creature has no human features, though the eyes may glow red in the dark. In their human forms, werewolves attack with a variety of weapons, generally with those common to their human identities and class. In the werewolf or wolf-like forms, the creature attacks with fearsome teeth. If the form has hands, the werewolves may grab its prey for a better bite. In the wolf form, the werewolf can be harmed only by silver or magical weapons of +1 or better. The wounds from other weapons heal too quickly to injure it. Werewolves attack in packs. Packs, including females and young, drive the adults to hit harder. If the female is attacked, the male fights at +2 to hit and does full damage with each blow. That is awesome. If the younger attack, the female attacks at +3 to hit and does full damage. Cubs with 60% full growth are at -4 to hit, 70% -3 to hit, and so on. All cubs inflict 2 to 5 points of damage, which is d4 +1, instead of the standard 2d4 damage for a werewolf. Okay, so they appear in packs of 3 to 18, but didn't we read over here that they always travel in... No. Okay, they live in packs generally related by bloodline. It was the werebears that were different. Okay, so generally a pack is 3 to 18 werewolves strong. Let's max out the pack. Let's say it's 18 werewolves. With, what is the... Let's say 4 males, 4 females. That's 8. That leaves 10 cubs. Well, let's do... Let's do 6 cubs under 60%, which means that they get hidden away for safety. Which leaves 4 cubs left. And we'll just put all 4 at 80. 4 cubs, 2, 3 males, 1 female at, let's put them all at 90%. Well, 80%. There we go. This way we have, this is pretty decent. If you hit a werewolf with a silver arrow, will the wound heal, seeing as the arrow stays inside? If the arrow never comes out, then it won't ever heal. Same way, if you have an arrow stuck inside of you and you never take the arrow out, I mean, your wound will heal around it eventually, but you're still going to have this giant lodge of metal inside you. Yes, magic or silver will damage, correct. Wolves have puppies, not cubs? What? Nope, the book says cubs. The book says cubs. Sweet mother of Jesus. What the hell is going on now? Okay. So, here we have this. To cure, to cure a werewolf infection, you need a tuft of hair from a werewolf, and a remove curse spell. Hair from the wolf that bit you will increase the chances of, will give you a +4 on your poly, well, no, plus 20% polymorph. How do you cure it? Hold on, are you doing a saving throw versus polymorph, or are you doing a system shock check? The only way to lift the affliction is to cast Remove Curse on the character on the night of full moon, the night immediately preceding or following full moon. After the Remove Curse is cast, the character makes a successful saving throw versus polymorph. Okay. Gets a, give you a +4 on your polymorph save. Done. Remove Curse is a 5th level priest spell. Which brings me to my next point, kids. Don't drink after a hangover. Just don't drink in general, okay? It's not good for you. It's bad. Alright, you guys saw roleplay the other day. Yesterday. I started out pretty bad. By the end, that was okay, but God, that was a hard session to do. I really wanted to just cancel it, but I couldn't do that. Okay. They are savage killers, yet they're devoted to their close-knit families. Okay, so let's talk about werewolf motivation. I mean, sure, they're werewolves, but let's give it a little bit more than we're savage killers, we want to eat everything. So let's say they are, a new litter is born, and they're attacking people so that they can feed the litter some man flesh, because they want their children to eat man flesh. Done. Very simple, it makes sense, it's consistent. It's not super fucking epic, but it really, I feel that it's better to have storylines and plot ideas that make a lot of sense, that where you can actually plan around it, than to have like crazy epic ideas, because it's really fucking hard for a player to piece together a crazy epic idea when it is not, when it doesn't make a lot of sense, if that makes sense, you know? If it's like the werewolf wants the town, the players will be like, well, why does he want the town? And then we have to really figure out, well, why does the werewolf want this town? What is in this town? Like, does he just want any town that happens to be it? Because that's cool, like werewolves trying to take over town, but at the same time, it's kind of loose. It's kind of just like, oh, he just wants to kill. He just wants a town. There's no real motivation behind it, which is fine. Like, you can totally do shit like that, but for a pack of werewolves, I'd rather have it be a little bit more concrete, something that the people can, the players can relate to. Like, oh, they have these kids that need, that they're going to feed the man flesh. Okay, that makes more sense than werewolves wanting to take over town when they're usually nomadic. So that's what we got. We got werewolves living in Elder Grove, attacking people as they go by Brigdean, feeding them to their children. Okay, we already know we're over here at Fulos Peak is an order of clerics that are super fucking badass. All right, they're over here. We know this to be true. So they can go here to get the curse removed. They already know that. They already have a working relationship with the Fulos Peak people. Yeah, that's that. What else do we need? So let's figure this out. So what happens if the party kills her when she transforms and attacks them? Then General Redbeard will throw them in shackles and execute them all, basically, unless they can prove that she was actually a werewolf. But that doesn't really need to be planned because they're literally in the middle of a giant fort. Like there's an entire army around them. There's no way they can get out. I mean, sure they could try and fight their way out, but that'd be a lot of killing. If they don't kill her, or whatever, if in the case that the party convinces General Redbeard that she's a werewolf or whatever, what clues do they have to go on? So we need to know where the attack happened, how many people were involved, where the wolves came from, where the wolves went, that sort of thing. So let's say the attack happened right outside Brigdean, like over here. This is like a 2-day journey. And why was she coming from Brigdean? Where was she? She was coming home from Brigdean. Why was she doing that? She was visiting a cousin. Or she was just visiting the local lords of Brigdean. Okay? Brigdean, where she was visiting the local lords. Cool. She and her guards were attacked by a pack of wolves. She probably has like an escort of, I would say, General's daughter, 20 mounted men, and then maybe 10 foot, or would it be like 10 mounted and 20 foot? 10 mounted, 20 foot. And then a pack of 8 wolves attacked that many? That's kind of ridiculous, right? This is not for roleplay. This is for my Monday night game. I mean, if you are a general and you have a large, set of troops at your disposal and you're wealthy because you're a fucking general, and your daughter is visiting somewhere, how many people would you send to guard your daughter in the sketchy motherfucking times that is this? Especially when a vampire recently attacked and killed your dinner guest along the road. You'd send a pretty heavy escort because a fucking vampire a month ago killed like one of your friends who was coming over to your place for dinner. I would send a heavy guard with my daughter. I wouldn't leave that shit to chance. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, any of you guys have kids? You'd send a lot. You would send a fuck ton. Basically, you take the whole army, right? So there's going to be a lot of them. However, none of them have. Maybe one of them has magical weapons, and that's why, like the guy who was in charge probably has like a magic sword, like a +1 or +2 sword or something. And so he probably, as soon as he started landing blows, the wolf's like, fuck, they can actually hurt us, let's retreat. But up until then, the wolves just like attacked. And how did they get her? She's in a fucking carriage. She's not riding on horseback. So how do they actually get her? Hold on, how did she get bitten? If there's this big, okay, so they would march in a column, right? We'll do this. Here, it's gonna launch this. This way we can doodle. I guess we also have Photoshop open, but we're here already. Thank you for having us. What the hell is this? Oh, that's by the other guys. That's fine. Cool. So you've got a road. Here, we've got like a big fat road, right? That these people are marching down. Okay. You would have the carriage in the middle. Right? You'd have your carriage being pulled by your horsies. We got ourselves 2 horses. Ooh, that one's a fat horse. Right? They're pulling the carriage. Lovely. You would put riders in front. You would put ground troops here, right? You would have riders in back. You'd have ground troops here. Let's do circles now. Fuck squares. This is not necessarily the exact number, right? Because you're marching down a road. So you would do this, and then you might also have, well, you'd march in a column. When you can, you might throw an additional guy on the flank, maybe, but most of the time you can't. And most of the time it doesn't matter. But they might do this. They might have something flanking like that. So how many troops would you send? And then you might also, if you were really paranoid, have like a scout in the front and a scout in the back that are trailing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 horse, right? And then what is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, like 16 foot. Is that what you, does that sound right? I would send 8 horseback riders, including, you know, a badass guy to lead them. And then 16 foot soldiers, because that's a lot of dudes, especially if you're wearing military trappings. Trappings? Werewolves wouldn't pose as traitors. Werewolves, so here's the thing, if you're on the road, over here to the north, you've got forest the way to the north, right? This is all foresty shit up here. I don't know if they would, I don't think werewolves are, well, they're average intelligence, which is fine. Many werewolves family roam the country in wagon sides, much like gypsies. All right, so if they're roaming the countryside in a wagon, they wouldn't jump out of their wagon and attack a heavily armed band. In fact, you wouldn't pose as traitors and attack a heavily armed band, because unless you actually think you can kill the whole band, you'd have to abandon your wagon and whatever things you had to trade, right? So if you're going to attack a heavily armed band like this, you need to be light and you need to get in and get out and do your business. So I think the werewolves would have waited for them to pass and then just like hit them from the flanks. And you could, if there's 8 that are, well, no, we have how many that are eligible to fight? 4 male, 4 female, another 3 and 1. So we have 12 werewolves that can fight against this many. Now, they may not all have come. It might have just been these 8 against these 24, which are pretty fucking good odds for the werewolves. So they come in, attack, take down this rider, easy, you know, and then some of them go for the wagon because whatever's in the wagon is like tasty, and or in the cart is clearly, you know, defenseless. Easy target. One wolf comes in to like tear her out and run away with her, while the others try and like fight some of these guards and drag them away. Because this is a really easy target. And when you actually have pretty good numbers, 8 against 24, but you can't be damaged by their weapons, that's pretty fucking good. Right, so you'd easily grab this target, haul her away to be eaten by the kids. Because if you're in a wagon like this, if you're being protected by others, you can't put up a fight, which is something that you would be willing to drag this like innocent, useless person back and feed them to your cubs live. You wouldn't want to drag a soldier back to your cubs because the soldier's going to fucking kill your cubs, or, you know, at least try to. You might have to kill the soldier before the cubs can kill it, in which case that ruins the whole purpose. So you bring back the defenseless girl to feed your cubs. Easy peasy. So the wolves come in, ambush this guy on his horse, grab the girl, bite her, but meantime, this guy comes back, damages the guy that bit the girl. He's like, whoa, 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 what the fuck? These guys can actually hurt us. And being the chaotic, evil, cowardly creatures that they are, I mean, they're not super cowardly, but they're kind of cowardly. And surprised by this. Meanwhile, this guy dies, this guy dies, this guy dies, this guy dies, so we'll up the dead to 5. Then they all retreat, possibly dragging a body away with them. Horsemen might give chase, but at the same time, like, holy fucking shit, they're werewolves, the daughter's fine, let's go. Would they give chase? They might give chase. Maybe 2 riders went after them. No, they're werewolves. The riders aren't going to fucking go after them. No. Okay, so that's what went down. That's how that scene took place. So, how many died? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 dead. Well, let's say a horse, 16 foot, 1 horse dead, 4 foot dead. Were attacked by a pack of wolves, which were eventually fought off. Blah 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 blah. Perfect. Okay. So, pack of wolves. One of them would be wounded by a sword. Let's just say it's a magical +2 longsword. Ooh. Alright, let's say it's a magical +4 longsword. Guy rolls to hit. Misses. What's there? He's 15. That would hit. Single damage. 2 and 2 is 4. Okay. Enough damage just to be injured, but not killed. Alright, so there's still all 8 of them. Oh my god, dropping dice everywhere. So, the party would get 1 solid bout of combat in. Now, here's the other issue, is that aside from, well, so the party wants to find these wolves. They'll probably go back to the scene where the battle occurred and try and follow the tracks. However, the tracks at this point are going to be quite old. They'll be like 4 or 5 days old. And other people travel that road too. So what we can do is the wolves only got the 1 person. They want to get another. So when the party comes back through this area, they can get attacked by a small pack of wolves. There's like 2 or 3. Or maybe, I have to delete all this shit. Good. So oops, here we go. So party goes back to the spot. Party goes back to the spot of the ambush. Gets ambushed again. Well, it gets ambushed, period. The amulet attracts wolves, explaining why they attacked such a heavily armed caravan. Ooh, I like that. Salty Bros, decline. I do like that. Crispy the Kwanzaa Pyro. I like that. But who gave her the necklace? And how can the party tell? Will the party ever tell? What is that up on my wall? Looks like a thumbtack, but it's a really awkward place for a thumbtack. I don't know. An ex-boyfriend? Okay, she's the general's daughter. She doesn't have a lot of ex-boyfriends. And though anyone that she could have been dating in theory, would have been like nobility or something very, very special. Um, an enemy of the general. But here's the thing: if we include a necklace thing like that, if we include that as a plot point, how are they ever supposed to find out about that? They'll be like, "Oh, why did they attack the party?" And then there's no follow through. There's no hint as to the party why they got attacked by wolves. You know, it necklace has a wolf on it. Necklace reacted to the wolves. Reacted magically. I don't know. If the idea is that it's supposed to attract wolves, why would it react when wolves get near? That doesn't. I don't think it's an interesting concept, but I don't think it's really. Because then it makes the wolves out to not be the bad guy. It makes somebody else to be the ultimate bad guy. And I want the wolves to be the ultimate bad guy. I want the final showdown to be the party battling like a giant pack of wolves. All right, hold on. I gotta. Let me ponder on this for one moment. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna run a quick ad while I do that and think about this. Be right back in 60 seconds. Hmm. No Mafia Monday today. Mafia Monday today. It's every other week. So I don't. Hmm. Hmm. General tried to wipe out this clan of wolves before, so the wolves are seeking vengeance and somehow gave the daughter the necklace, but then why would they need to give the daughter the necklace? Why not just attack the daughter right then? Cape idea? Given a werewolf cape as a gift, it attracts the wolf smell, unintended by the giver, unforeseen effect. I don't think we need to include an item in here. I think you guys are overcomplicating something that is actually fairly simple. Alpha male was a noble suitor of the lady who turned werewolf. She's majorly emotionally attached to her. He'll seek her out even in wolf form. Hence the attack on the caravan. No, I don't like these other motivations. I like the basic motivation of. I think these are all. They're not terrible ideas. They're actually quite fine, but for what I'm looking for, this is what I want. I just want something fairly straightforward. It might sound a little bit boring, but you can add so much depth to this, and we tend to be a little bit more relaxed and casual. For roleplay, I might do something detailed and in depth, but this is like a super chill, casual game that me and my friends play, and I don't want to get too in depth because often my friends are not entirely sober when we play. We tend to drink and play. I will not be drinking. God, no. I'm probably going to stave off alcohol for a very long time after this weekend. Um, but I don't. I think we're just going to leave it as this. All right. Gets ambushed by what? Okay, so here's the question. Gets ambushed. Do they get ambushed by the same strategy where wolves attack them from the road? Or in this case, do we have werewolves like hanging out in a caravan or in a wagon or whatever and ambush the party that way? I think they should. Well, maybe something else. How do we drag this out? How do we drag the storyline out? Because right now it's very simple. It's go here, find where they live, go kill them, come over here, done. You can do that in a session and a half. All right. So how do we drag out the werewolf story? Not necessarily drag it out, but give it some more room and more depth. You know, what are things that they could be doing? Clues they could find. How would they track the wolves? Maybe they don't get ambushed. Maybe they can't find the wolves. And so they go to Brigdean and start asking about. And in Brigdean, they start asking about wolves. One of the werewolves that hangs out in Brigdean, like to gather intelligence stuff, hears about it, figures out what's done, and then they get ambushed in Brigdean by werewolves in the city. Then they try and find the werewolf lair in Brigdean. See, there we go. That's much more fun. This is much more fun. Here we go. So, party leaves Fort Redbeard, come down to Greenvale, to Pattaya. On their way to Brigdean. No, they get to Brigdean. On their way, they look for. Why the fuck does my phone keep going off? Oh my god, what? Are these just like 10 million tweets at me? Why do you keep beeping at me? What's happening? Like my phone won't shut up. What the hell's going on here? All right, just stop it, phone. Just stop it. How about the person that talks about werewolves is a werewolf? Oh, maybe. I don't know. We're working out the idea. So they, oh, you guys can't, I should have changed that. I was supposed to have changed this ages ago. So they get to Brigdean. The person that they're looking for, that they look for information. On the way to Brigdean, they can't find the tracks. They're just missing. They go all the way to Brigdean, ask about their, hey, have you guys heard anything about werewolf attacks? Blah, 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 blah. Some guy goes, hey, you're asking out around werewolves. I know a guy. Because the guy who they're asking about is, that's how they get ambushed, is because they're asking around in bars and there's a werewolf who hangs out there who's like, oh yeah, meet me here at this time. We can't talk about it here. They meet him there at that time. He tries to fucking kill them because he doesn't want his family to be revealed. Or he ambushes them. They fight him off, maybe kill him, maybe not kill him. Hopefully he runs away, like he'll try to run away. Then they'll search all over Brigdean, go track him through the town, find maybe like a small lair in the town. What does it say about? I think it says they like to live outside. They don't like to live in towns, right? They could have a single abandoned building outside of town. Werewolf packs roam the wilderness in search of human or other prey. True werewolves tend to be nomadic, although infected werewolves often continue to live the lives in which they were accustomed. Werewolves retreat to their dens during the winter months or the years where females were raising helpless cubs. As humans, werewolves do not build homes, though they may take over existing dwellings, sometimes the home of past victims. Cool. So there's a home on the outside of town in Brigdean. We've got to write this shit down before I forget. Outskirts of Brigdean, where the werewolves keep a guy on watch to learn about the comings and goings and to easier feed on the feed on people, not on the travelers, on people. Okay. Cool. Party gets to Brigdean. Is this Brigdean? It is Brigdean. Asks about for werewolf information. This guy, we need to name this guy. Who? Okay, here we go. We're going to do our first, from subs only, I want a name for this werewolf who's hanging out in town. What does he tell other humans his name is? Subs only. Yeah, I let everyone name the towns. Occasionally, I'll need like a single name, and then I'll ask for subs only. Metzo, Gerland, Warren, Belthor, Gerlad, Warren, Gerlad, Parstan, Roth. I like Roth. Roth is good. We'll go with Roth. Okay. All right, we're going with Roth. Party gets to Brigdean, asks for werewolf information. This guy, Roth, comes or tells them to meet him in secret because the information about it. He then attacks them there, tries to flee if the battle goes poorly, goes back to his lair, their lair, their lair at the edge of town. How fast do they recover? Do they have enhanced regeneration? It doesn't look like it. Tandyman just subscribed. Well done, Tandyman. Hello, Tandyman. Welcome to the cool people, Tandyman. Two warring Lycanthrope clans that the party gets caught up in? That could draw it out, yeah. Yeah, that might be better. A second group of Lycanthropes that are hanging out in Brigdean, and that's why they've got like the scout there. Who would the other group be? Would it be another evil group, or would it be another good group? How are Wolfwares evil? Or are Wolfwares good? Let's find out. Wolfware. Wolfware are also chaotic evil. Let's quickly read about Wolfwares, everyone. The Wolfware is an evil and hateful creature that delights in the brutally slaying of humans and demi-humans alike. I love it so far. In many cases, the Wolfware is able to attack its victims with utter surprise because of its ability to assume the shape of a human of exceptional charisma. The Wolfware is able to assume a wide variety of shapes at will. Transformation of one form to another takes only a single round. Its true shape, that in which it prefers to spend the majority of its time, is that of a large wolf. When in the shape, it's almost indistinguishable from a dire wolf. When a wolf wearer is attempting to lure humans or demi-humans into an ambush, it will assume the shape of a member of their race. Almost without exception, the new persona will not be of the same sex as the potential victim. Thus, a wolf wearer, which is stalking a male elf, will transform into a female elf. In all cases, the newly disguised wolf wearer will have exceptional physical beauty. Lovely. The Wolfware is a sly, dangerous adversary. In addition to its great fury and fighting prowess, its high intelligence may not be overlooked or underestimated. When a Wolfware first spots unsuspecting humans or demi-humans in its territory, it will change into its fully humanoid form and assume the guise of a pilgrim, minstrel, or similarly wandering blah 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 blah. How many? They appear in groups of 3. The Wolfware will normally carry some form of stringed instrument, which it will seems to be absent playing at a while. As it travels, the true nature of a song, however, will be terrible and often fatal. Anyone who hears the Wolfware's song and then fails a saving throw or spell will be overcome with lethargy. I'm beginning to dislike this. The effects of this enchantment are the same as those of the slow spell. Once the effects begin, it cannot be countered and lasts for 5 to 8 rounds. When a Wolfware is ready to attack, the creature again changes its shape, now in a form which is half wolf, half human, or demi-human. It strikes. The Wolfware will almost always change into this form when it engages in combat because it has the ability to bite like a wolf and also wield a weapon of some type. In any form, but it's fully humanoid one, the creature can deliver a savage bite with its powerful jaws, its mode of attack, which monsters prefer, employs above all others. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. Magical nature of the Wolfware makes it immune to damage inflicted by any weapon that is not made from cold, wrought iron, or enchanted to +1 or better. And all other weapons are simply turned aside by the creature's hide. It is possible to protect oneself against Wolfwares, however, for they're disgusted by wolfsbane and will avoid it wherever possible. I don't think I want to bring a Wolfware in. At first, they sounded pretty fucking. You know what? We're gonna modify the player's handbook or the monstrous manual Wolfware. We're gonna change it. We're gonna get rid of this stupid minstrel song thing that casts slow on everyone. That's dumb. People would notice that being cast. I really don't like that at all. But we can do standard. Okay, so how about this? The werewolves have heard about. Okay, because we remember when we were reading in the werewolf section that the werewolves had heard about, or no, the werewolves and wolfwares are mortal enemies and they hate each other. So one of the werewolves picked up a scent of a wolfware in Brigdean. The wolfware talked to the girl, talked to General Redbeard's daughter. And so she, like, you know, he had tried to seduce her. The soldiers pushed him away, got rid of him before anything could go down. And he didn't want to bother fighting all those fucking soldiers. So now she smells of wolfware because of the, like, interactions between them. The werewolves smell that shit and attack the caravan on the way out. When one of them gets in there and, like, bites her, trying to kill her. He realizes, wait a minute, she's not a wolf were, she's actually a human. Whatever, we can still feed it to our young. Doesn't even matter. Meanwhile, there's a werewolf hanging out in Fisher's Point. How about that? Does that look good? No, I don't. She doesn't have an amulet, dude. There's no amulet. Stop pushing the amulet. Sounds great. Cool. Whatever, we can just feed her to our young. Yeah. Okay, cool. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Cool. Giardi was bitten by werewolves on the way home from Big Dean, blah, 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 blah. She and her guards were attacked by wolf wares, which were eventually fought off. Five guards died. She was bitten. Mike visits her the night before, full moon. She transforms into a werewolf, tries to kill him. Werewolves live in the Elder Grove, pack of this. To cure werewolf infection, you need this. Excellent. Have a... what do we call it? Have a house in Brigdean belonged to someone they ate once upon a time. Wolf where lives in Brigdean now. Okay, now yeah, perfect. Okay, blah 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 blah. There's a home on the outskirts where the werewolves keep a guy. Blah 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 blah. Roth tells him to meet the secret location. Attacks him there. Tries to flee. If the battle goes poorly, goes back to his or her lair at the edge of town. Awesome. Then what? So they chase Roth to the like small house on the edge of town. Can they track him there? He would go there, bandages himself up, keep a lookout. What if they don't track him there? Yeah, you can't track someone through the city streets. I mean, it's a small town, but okay, I will give them. I mean, we'll make a tracking check. We'll see if the ranger can track him. If the ranger can't track him, they'll have to scout out. Okay. Edge of town. Keeps an eye out. Retreats rather than fights. Oh man, people are upset about no Mafia Monday today. Okay. Blood? Where's blood? Can we wandering werebear look where? No. No wandering werebears. Retreats rather than fights. So Roth attacks them because he doesn't want people to know about the werewolf. Cool. Doesn't want people to know about the werewolf population. Hmm. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay, and I think this is about as far as I want to plan today because I don't know if they're actually going to get this far. Let's plan just a suissance farther. Let's plan. Let's plan a little bit further. What do they do? Goes back to the lair at the edge of town. Keeps an eye out. Retreats rather than fights. What else would he do? Why don't werewolves just eat animals instead of people? Because they're evil. They love the taste of human flesh. They love it. Okay, so he goes back to his house there to rest up because he just got fucked up. He needs to go back, bandage his wounds, um, prepare whatever shit he has, and then he takes off towards Elder Grove to go warn everyone else. If the party can actually track, so if the party can track him to his house, they'll find him there patching himself up and shits. If they have to ask around for him, they'll find the house empty and, well, you can't say empty and abandoned, that's the same thing. If the party starts talking to people about werewolves, the whole town hears about it and freaks the fuck out. On top of that, the wolfware will come after the party and let's read about werewolves and wolfwares again. Would the wolfware try and work with the party to kill the werewolves? He's a chaotic, evil creature. I think it's just going to be the one. Alright, give me Lycanthrope. Give me... not mammal, not were-tiger, werewolf. I don't see anything in here about wolfwares. Where the fuck are the wolfwares? Maybe it was back in the general Lycanthrope section. I don't see wolfware anywhere. Am I crazy? I thought we had read a passage that said werewolves hate wolfwares and we'll try and kill them all the time. I don't see anything about wolfwares. Am I crazy, guys? But I know it's my world and I'll do whatever I want, but I want to understand what the book says. The book is a great guide for many things because it's well thought out, usually. Ah, here we go. It's the second sentence. Great enmity exists between wolfwares and werewolves. Awesome. Is that really the only line that you guys have about this? Seriously? Whatever, fuck it. So, what does the wolfware want to do? The wolfware, if the party talks about werewolves to people in town, which they're probably going to do, word will spread. Word will definitely spread. People ain't going to keep that shit secret. Wolfware will come after them, be like, oh, hey, where did you find them? Or what do you know about them? I want to help you track them down. He will then. Here's the question: would no, the party wouldn't have heard about him beforehand. Um, Would the party have heard about him? Would the anecdote about a handsome man hitting on the general's daughter be passed to the party? Maybe if they question about the time in Brigdean enough, it will. Anyway, Wolfware hears about that, wants to fucking kill the shit out of the werewolves, hates them, wants to kill them, works with the party to go kill them, will help the party track them down somehow. No, I think it'd be cooler to have like werewolf wolfware battles in town. Maybe the wolfware approaches the party in town and doesn't try and be cool about it. Maybe he approaches the party. No, I mean, because they approach the party. Wolfwares often take the shape of opposite gender of the race they're trying to infiltrate. Approaches the party as a beautiful woman. Is like, oh my god, I heard about the werewolves. Where did they go? What's happening? I'm so worried. Could you protect me? No, that doesn't make sense. What the fuck would the wolfware try and do? What the fuck would he try and do? He just wants to eat people and fuck bitches and kill werewolves, right? But mostly he just wants to eat people. So, when he hears about werewolves, I think he just chills. He probably just chills out and is like, whatever, I'll take them when they come. And I can feed on these people and pretend to be a werewolf. Feedings continue. A pack of werewolves shows up a few days later. Battle ensues between party werewolf and wolfware. Then Then werewolves retreat to Elder Grove. Party tracks them down, kills them. Okay. All right, so this is what we're doing. We've planned out the overall story arc, kind of vaguely. The overall is very vague. We have very specific how it starts and moderately specific how it proceeds. Then once we get to where we think the party will probably finish for one day, we have like a little bit after that that's kind of vague, but enough to go on if we need it. And then when we're done with this, after tomorrow afternoon, let's be honest, I will, give a little bit of a recap on what happened. I'll post it to YouTube and whatnot. And then 2 Mondays from now, we will reconvene and we'll talk about what happened and we will plan out the rest of this. Because for all I know, they may not go to Brigdean. They may kill her and be on the fucking run. So we're not going to plan too much further. Some of these things may alter, they may change, new things may happen. There's a lot of variables here. So this is how far I'm going to plan. And as you guys could see, it took like an hour and a half to plan out this. But that's already because we already have all these maps and all this stuff, and this party moves pretty slowly. Yeah, they're a slow moving party. So I think that is it. I think that's it. Excellent. Well done, everyone. I appreciate your helps with names and stuff. I will give you all an update tomorrow. I will post it. I'll go live on Twitch. I'll announce it a few minutes ahead of time. Go live will be like a 4 or 5 minute update on what happened. And then I'll post the VOD to YouTube, which you guys can find out and all that fun stuff. And this is not for roleplay. This is for another group. They're only 4th or 5th level. Oh, no. We need to do one more thing. We're not done yet, guys. We're not done. Experience generator. We need to give the party experience for what they did last week. So, where is the party? Here you go. So last week they finished fighting. Well, let's bring up all the shit that they did last week. Age of my evil gnome. Here we go. They defeated the evil gnome. Let's do this and this. And we need to go show windows. Here we go. So, evil gnome, they defeated the evil mecha bear, which has 12 hit dice. AC 19, plus 7 to hit. Number of attacks, 2. Damage. Didn't we already figure out his EXP? No. I feel like we already did this. Medium damage. Intelligence is exceptional. He's got 2 special attacks. He's got his fire breath and his laser eyes. But they both can malfunction. No, flame breath doesn't malfunction. Laser eyes can malfunction. So that would be 2 very strong. We'll reduce it to 2 strongs. Special defenses, none. He was pretty fast. Movement speed 16. Wow. All right, well, let's bump up defense to a weak, well, large jump, really fast. You don't need a magical weapon to hit him. Doesn't have disease, no poison, no weapon immunities, no spell immunities. That's the giant evil mecha bear. And on top of that, they fought a bunch of traps. I'm not going to do that, but 6, 9, 4, 8 plus, I'm going to say, because they actually went through every single freaking trap. They did it from behind, which was better. So I'm going to give them another 2,000 experience for defeating the traps, including actually pulling on the cord and having the rocks drop on their head. And then we'll give them, no, shit, minus 2,000? Nope, fuck. 6948 plus 2000 plus 0. Yeah, times 1.5 is a general modifier I give for role-playing and stuff. Cool. So then divide that between 4 players? 4 players. That is 3,355 experience each. So let's go over here. Oh, we need a pencil and an eraser. So, TR is 3355 plus 26219. So that's not actually a lot. It's very little of a jump. 29574. Okay, here we go. And over here we have 3355 plus 26189, 39554. 29544. And over here 3355 plus 26419 is 29774. And over here is 16464 plus 3355. Wait, is that really 1? Is he 10,000 experience behind everyone? He is. Holy shit. Oh, that's right, because he got level drained by a vampire. He got his shit fucked up. Bad. 19819. Then we have this person who didn't show up, and this person who hasn't shown up in ages, and that's an NPC. Excellent. Okay, there we go. Now we've taken care of all the leveling, everything else. No one leveled, blah, 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 blah. Everything's hunky-dory. They've got a new party member coming this week, which will be fun to deal with. Do I have the right character sheets uploaded here? Character sheet PDF. This looks like the right one. Excellent. I can print it out over there. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Let me change it here. Thanks for watching, guys. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you learned something about map making and D&D planning and whatnot. Tomorrow is going to be Misclicks, and there's a special guest coming on Misclicks. I don't know if it's been announced yet, but there's a special guest. Shh, don't tell anyone. It's going to be cool. And that's tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be Mafia. Mafia Meta at 5:30, Mafia at 6 o'clock. And then Thursday is going to be one-shots with my friends as players, and it's going to be pretty cool. I think right now we're going to have a Elven Thief. Another guy can't decide between doing a Druid or a Ranger. And then the other two haven't figured out their classes yet, but I'm letting them choose all their own stuff. It's going to be pretty fucking cool. And that's it. No, we're just going to have 4 players. We're just doing 4 people for one-shots this time. All right, guys. Love you all. See you soon. Good luck. Have fun. Bye-bye.